I know some people, they like lighting up a candle or putting on headphones or just escaping and letting the creative juices flowing. Like, what's your process like?
Yeah, I just let my balls dangle off the chair, and
It's going in a reel. I don't care. Let's go in a reel.
I just swing my balls like it's a swing set. You know what I'm saying? I just let it hang.
Here we go, episode 3.
Episode 3
of season 2 of chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
Neema, Naz'S, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth.
Look at the cutie patoots.
He's feeling himself right now.
This man's got a Toronto man's haircut, you know?
A very fresh cut, by the way.
You know, I can see myself right now. I'm looking at it like, damn.
Who's your barber, bro? I need the same barber.
Danny Ishak. Shout out Isaac Candles.
Candela.
Oh, same Danny?
Yeah, same Danny, bro.
Shout out Danny, by the way, guys.
My favorite Kurdish person. Kurdiya.
Setting the ambiance.
My favorite Assyrian, which sounds made up. Yeah, that's cool, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, man. I know you're coming from Keswick.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, man. You know, just I was in Cowland, you know, with the farms and the cows. Now we're in Richmond Hill with all the Persians and the shisha. Bro, I haven't even fucking eaten anything today, and I'm already smoking shisha.
That's it. That's how you do it, bro.
On brand, bro. On brand. I'm breaking my fast. I'm breaking my fast during Ramadan with shisha. This is insane.
Is that disrespectful?
No. This is a first for me. I'll tell you that.
It's okay. We got the ambiance set up with the candles. Shout out Danny Isaac. Shout out the Sheesh Lounge for the beautiful venue. Your first time here?
Yeah, I've never been here. I really go to Shisha Lounges, to be honest. It's been a while for me, but that's cool.
So what are you up to these days? What are you doing? How you been? I haven't seen you obviously in a very long time.
I know.
We met in a very interesting way years ago.
Yeah, how did we meet again?
Close friends with your brother Omid.
Right,
Shout out to Omid.
Yeah.
The guy's a legend.
Yeah.
Our Puerto
Rican weekend, yeah.
Puerto Rican weekend, yeah. You know, with the Rico Suave dance moves.
100%. Very sexy.
At the time, he was DJing, and then we kind of met at Dreams. That's where we met. Back in the day, Digital Dreams.
Oh, Digital Dreams. Yes, the festival. Yeah.
This is like when you were first starting, and like we were trying to do skits and stuff together.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Like, yeah, we did some random ass shit.
Super random. Like, you're like, yo, just jump in the car. Just like, like, come just dance.
Yeah,
and, like, at the time, you had like 600, 700 followers. Like, this is like
it was
fresh,
very new.
Fresh.
It was very fresh.
Really when you first started.
I was like, I think I was like barely over 10K at that time.
Yeah, no, this is even probably way before that.
Maybe.
This is like originally, like when you first started. I don't even think your IG handle was Neema Naz'S at the time.
Oh,
it was probably something like before that even.
I remember that, yeah.
And then as time went by, and then we did the skit together and something, like he would always drag me. He's like, yo, Nick, come, you're doing the skit with me. I'm like, all right, bro, cool, no problem. He's like, okay, you have to show chest hair. I'm like,
because he's just the most Persian looking guy I've ever seen in my life.
He was ahead of his time. He knew that chest hair, gets the views.
He's like, yo, chest hair, bring it out. He's like, whip it out.
We need like someone who looks like a Jamshid, you know, like a fob Persian uncle.
Yeah.
And Nick was perfect for that. You know what I'm saying?
So he's like, yo, pull up. He's like, just even during COVID, he's like, yo, we're going to do social distancing.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to do a social distance dance. I'm like, okay, bro. People are walking on the street just looking at us. I'm like,
in front of the Markham house at the time. I remember that. Yeah. It's good times.
We've just done there'd be times like, I remember one time we went to a festival and then we came back and we're just hanging out and he's like cuddling a pillow, and it's like, if I could slot that video in right now of you cuddling this pillow.
Oh, we definitely have to do it now. I mean, you mentioned it, so
we have to. I have to slot it in.
Expose me right now.
I have to slot it in.
Bro, this guy looks fucking Portuguese. And he's Persian. What the fuck's going on, man?
That's the first time I got Portuguese.
He looks like English concrete.
Yeah,
I get
Italian, Greek.
Yeah, you look like you just do wallpaper or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you just pick out colors and you're like, okay, this wall is the red.
100%. I mean, we went to Church Martin's too.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, yeah. But with Persians, we're very racially ambiguous. And I have a joke about this on stage. Obviously, it's like it's so true. Every Persian I meet, for the most part, it's sometimes hard to tell if they're actually Persian. Yeah, like most Persians are very racially ambiguous.
Yeah, bro.
Like maybe not you as much, but like the fucking glasses is a big giveaway. You look like you have chai in your fucking holder in your car. It's crazy, bro.
You say this, and then I got people that say you look sketch. You look like you do something illegal. You look like you have drugs in your car. Yeah. He's like, it's the glasses. So I don't know. Glasses
you look like you put bags of cocaine up your ass just to smuggle.
It looks like I sell saffron. You know?
Yeah, saffron. Yeah,
I think that's on brand.
Exactly. Yes.
Actually,
saffron's the name of the cocaine.
That's it.
Funny you say that though, because a lot of people don't know that Persians actually have really, really dark skinned people too, like ethnically dark.
No, they do.
The
South.
in the South,
that's what I'm saying. It's a range. Yeah, exactly.
It's a range.
But like, you could say the same thing about India too, because like the north of India is like super light.
Yeah.
But then obviously the bottom is like near Sri Lanka. It's like dark. But like they're still distinctly Indian though, I feel like. But like Persians, I feel like you could just be anyone. Like I'm sure like maybe you guys like have both gotten so many different ethnicities before getting Persian. Like no one ever guesses I'm Persian, to be honest, for the most part. People always think I'm Italian first, Greek. I've got Russian,
Italian
Arab
for sure.
Yeah,
but I also think it's like with the skits and everything that you do, people are starting to assume things. So it's like,
but even before that, like if people don't know who I am, no one ever guesses I'm Persian. Like some people who know Persian people might know, obviously. But
that's funny because if you were to see my dad, like he knows. He looks whiter than
really?
Yeah,
he's a fucking Connor.
Very, very, very,
like
very much so.
Blue eyes, like
oh shit, sexy makes
like, I'm telling
you.
Yeah,
my mom looks like she could pass for Spanish. Like Sandra Bullock vibes.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
And then you're like, even like Omid, bro. Like
that's what I'm saying. My brother, like, bro, I honestly believe he's not related to my family.
I don't think so at all.
He's
got Jerry curls going on, like
and he's the older one. I'm like, I don't get it. Like,
I don't know, bro. Maybe he was the adopted one, and then they figured out they actually wanted to, so then they're like, yo, let's pump out.
I don't know, man.
So my question is like, if it's funny what you say, like nobody can tell what your ethnicity is, and you get Italian, you get Greek, or whatever. So is that how you leverage the different characters, the different personas you have on Instagram, on your skits and your bits and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's perfect because like, obviously like I'm an actor and a comedian and stuff like that. So it's like when I have like auditions for movie roles or TV or whatever the fuck, like eventually it just gets easier and easier because I could literally play so many different backgrounds of people. I could be Spanish, I could be Italian, you know what I'm saying, Greek, like, and that's how I actually came up with all of my characters. Is like I look at myself and like, what would I look like what could I pass as, and I just do it. And then obviously that helps that I grew up in Toronto. It's a melting pot of diversity. My whole group of friends growing up, United Nations, you know what I'm saying? Like I fucking grew up with all these guys, so I know about those cultures as well, so it's a bonus. But yeah, it's good.
And then how do you get into character?
I just come, honestly, man, like that's just who I am, to be honest. Like everything you see me post online is actually what I do off camera. Like I'll just go into bits, I'll go into accents, impressions with my friends all the time, my family. Like I'll just do it. But like now it's my profession, so I curate it. Like I film it, like I set it up. But like that's usually just how I am, to be honest.
Because dude, it's pretty spot on with some of these skits that you do, dude. Like you've really picked up on even like the slightest mannerisms, the way they talk, the hand gestures. So it's very like you
like
sell it really
even
well.
like dressing, like it's literally on brand. It's like
that's what
Luca Marino with the little
with the fucking
pencil,
exactly.
Yeah, like you literally do it better than like for example, than the real like actual like what it is, and it's like to a point where it's like those guys are now picking up on like how you do it, and like shit, like I gotta be more like him.
I know, right? Seriously, so I'm trying to teach these motherfuckers how to be authentic.
And you're like, yo, I'm just a Persian guy that just happens to know, like, like how to do a better Italian accent.
Literally,
than you guys.
It's crazy, and like it's such a big compliment when I hear people from that culture tell me that.
Yeah.
Because with that though, there also is a side of people who are like, "Oh, this is offensive, this is rude, or this isn't how we are." Like even Persians tell me that's not how we talk.
That's a whole nother topic. What do you mean? People being so sensitive nowadays. It's like you can post one thing and you see guys that are like so down and supportive, and then you got the ones that are like completely on the other side of the spectrum, like, "Oh, you're disrespecting us." Like, yo, laugh a little bit, smile. It's free. Like it doesn't cost you anything. Like
100%. But also at the same time, I understand because like some people might be in different points in their lives. Where they're maybe it's like they're having a tough time, so they act out of aggression, out of like they're emotional, right? So it's like, and the stuff I do is very like it could be touchy because race has always been a touchy subject, right? But it's like literally all like most the shit I do is about race and like at least like the stuff online, like the characters I do. But so it makes sense why people would come at me and be like, "Oh, you're racist, you're big, you're this and that." I'm like. Every day I get shit like that, but I'm like, you guys know me, right? It's like, I mean, we just met, but
I feel like I've known you my whole life.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. But like, you know me, like I'm not a bad person at all.
From
like I'm
day
just
one, I've known you, and you've never been like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm like a very kind person. Like I was raised right with my parents. My mom is very hospitable. My dad's the same. They're very generous people. Like, I think I take after them in those ways. But it's just like this is just my sense of humor.
Yeah,
this is just how my brain works. I can't control it, and this is my outlet. This is like, and plus the thing is, a lot of people don't realize is like, well, fucking you try doing this shit. Like, they're so easy to shit on your videos or your stand up, but I'm like, until you try it or do it, you actually don't know what it feels like.
Right.
And you can't explain this feeling to somebody who's never tried it, right?
Plus,
So,
if anything, you're actually embracing the culture and you're bringing the communities together too, 100%, right?
That's what I'm saying.
But in like nowadays, man, with all this politically correct movement and stuff,
it's everything has to be so politically correct, and it's like the slightest little thing and you'll be canceled right away. It's like
I know, but I don't. I mean, people always talk about this, but I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
But that's the right mentality to have. 100%. Because if you have that mentality, it's gonna start affecting you. Then it's gonna start affecting the content you put out. Then it's gonna start affecting your day-to-day basis, the way you react, and like everything. And it's like if you just don't care and just keep doing what you're doing, listen, the haters will come and go. If anything, you're also helping them out too. If they're getting their aggression out by commenting something, if anything, you're a therapist. You're helping them get their aggression out. So you're making them get another type of like serotonin out, right? Than the others that are laughing about it. So
100%, and like. The thing I've realized and learned over the years is like, no matter what you do, you can't please everyone, but also, it's like you could be the most perfect person and post the most positive shit, and someone will fucking shit on you,
100%,
obliterate you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you can't win. And so when I realized that,
of a wall or if you post
anything,
a picture,
bro, literally, this guy could post a picture of wallpaper and be like, "Oh, this fucking Portuguese tart, bro." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll doesn't matter. It could be anything, and people will come after you. But what I also realized, what helped me to keep moving forward from that and not to like get sucked into it, because a lot of people get discouraged early on when they start getting this shit, right? And the bigger you get, the more criticism you get. What helped me is that to realize that it's okay. Is that some of these people, one, they're insecure and they're jealous of what you're doing because they can't do what you're doing, so that's why they come after you. And two, they just don't have the context. They lack the context of who you are as a person and what you're doing in your life. They don't know what I'm working on. Like, man, I talk about this on stage sometimes where like I keep it real first and then I go into the joke. But like the real fact about how I feel about my body, my weight is like, I've been a bigger kid my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
shout out to the big guys.
Let's go, baby. That's it. Size Kings. Yeah.
That's it. Size Kings.
And I go on stage and I'm like, yo, I could lose, like, right now I'm like 342 pounds, right? And I'm on a health journey right now. Like, I'm slowly bringing my weight down. I'm getting much more healthy than I was before. And like my whole life, I've always like done these crash diets. I've lost weight. I've gained it back. This time I'm doing it the best. It's like going down the right way. But what I want to talk about is like, I could lose 100 pounds right now and still be 242 pounds and still look fat. And someone who's never seen me before ever in my life will look at me and be like, yo, that guy is fucking unhealthy and needs to lose weight. That guy's fucking fat. But then he doesn't know what the fuck I've just been going through for the past like few years trying to lose his weight. So it's like, when I think about it in that way, it makes it easier for me to like see these dumb comments online who like shit on me or other people. And I'm like, like this person just doesn't know. They have no idea what's going on.
Where do you think that comes from, bro? Is it just insecurity, or is it people just like, because the second you have haters, that's how you know you made it, because you have an entire group of people that dedicate their entire existence, their entire day just to bring you down. Yeah. So like low key, they're fans, right? Because they're 100%. Giving you the views, they're giving you the.
Any marketing is good marketing, bro.
100%.
Like that's actually one of the, I forget who said it, but like there's this big creator, like this doctor, like psychologist online, on social media, where like he's like, like my haters are my biggest marketers. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause they're literally just like, okay, you're still watching the videos, you're giving me views, and you're engaging in the comments. So it only helps the algorithm. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's only like a positive to me. And then like Jordan Peterson talks about like, yo, if these people said this to you in person, you'd get killed. Like it's real shit. Like,
but the funny thing
but
is
no one's
gonna
do that.
In person, they'll never say anything.
That's what I'm saying. So
they think they're big on social media. So.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, man. Like there's times where I still get affected. Like I'm only human, right? Like
for sure.
Sometimes I'll see a comment, I'm like, oh fuck. You know why? Because my brother made a good point. He's like, because deep down inside, you don't wanna accept it or believe it, but there is some truth behind what they're saying. So like when people talk about my weight, they call me fat or fucking, walrus. You should be in The Whale, the movie The Whale, not fucking Brendan Fraser. You know what I'm saying? Like. Like your head doesn't match your body. You know what I mean? Like obviously, like I'm good. Like I know what I'm working on. Like I'm confident in myself. It's just that there's times like a small part of me. Sometimes I'm looking at him like the inner child in me that's like been made fun of for this shit my whole life is like, oh fuck that guy, yo fuck you, bro. Like I'll show you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's just the nature of like what's going on in society these days in general, but also like. All this criticism people get online these days is still new. You know what I'm saying? Like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, no one was getting all this feedback at once.
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes it's hard to deal with. Because like I'm like, I don't even know how to digest this. Because it's like, imagine you're walking down the street and like instead of like 30 people online saying shit, 30 people in a row start walking by you. Fat fuck, whale, Job of the Hut. You know what I'm saying? Like that would never happen. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like it's so out of your world, out of the realm of like what's possible. You don't even know what's going on sometimes. Yeah. So
maybe that should be your next skit idea. That's something like I don't know if you recall, like Shia LaBeouf did that. He wore the he wore the paper bag on his head. He's like, I'm not famous anymore, and he had a row of people just come up to him and say the most offensive thing.
Oh really? That's what
funny. He expected them to say the worst things. He said there's no holds barred. Like you can come say anything. Oh wow. And that's actually funny. It was way more loving and caring than he expected.
Right, because
and that like changed his whole career.
Well, because like no one's like inherently a evil, hateful person.
Yeah.
It's top behavior.
For sure.
For the most part, at least. I don't know. So that's why it makes sense why they wouldn't even, like some people would probably go into I'm gonna fucking shit on this person, but sometimes you don't have the heart to do it. You know what I'm saying? But
it's the heat of the moment.
And then how do you deal with it then? Because
I cry, bro. I fucking beat my meat and I smash my head against the wall. No, but
you need some sort of release.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. No, I just talk to people around me that are important to me and that I love and that help me. That it's important to have the right people in your circle, in your inner circle. You know what I'm saying? Luckily I have my brother, and he's a good dude, and like he's my manager, and like I'm so lucky to have an older brother as like a mentor, almost like, because he's been through a lot in his own life, and it's almost like what he had to go through in life was meant is meant to happen so he can help me out.
Yeah,
and that's why we're working together, and that's why we're building this empire together, because like the shit, like you know him and like his life, and like he used to be a DJ, and like, I mean he DJ still, but like he had a whole other life in the DJ world and in the nightlife industry for like over a decade, and so the comedy industry and acting is like not too far off from the music. So he understands, and like he sees the sleaziness and like people are cutthroat, or like I don't know, like people talk shit behind your back, like they don't pay you. You know what I'm saying? It's the same shit that happens in comedy, and so having like a guy like that and like a couple my team members, my family, you know what I'm saying, to support you, like it's so important and so key, and it's like you have to cherish that shit. And I realize that, and I cherish it more and more the older I get, because like without like who else is there? Who else is gonna help you? You know what I'm saying?
No one's closer than your
no one's closer than your. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, obviously there's some people who like aren't close to their families, or like because your blood doesn't mean your family. But for me, I can confidently say, and I'm lucky to say that they are. So it just matters, like the people around you really matter,
Plus, I'm sure it just comes with the territory. I mean,
100%.
And you probably get an overwhelming number of people that are so supportive and loving that it kind of drowns out all the hate anyways.
Blow us a little.
Lulu, do you know any tricks?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes. That was a sizey one.
Yeah, sizey. Yeah, I got chode in my mouth.
I want to.
Yeah, no, I cut you off, but I agree with what you said there. I think it's important to also be okay with expressing yourself around 100%. The right people.
For sure,
it's like there's no shame in that.
So I want to touch up on the early stages of Neema Naz'S, and was this always something that you wanted to go into, like when you were in high school, elementary school? Like what was the path you were trying to go into? Obviously, I'm sure like you didn't wake up and say I was just going to be a comedian one day, or from birth. I'm sure like coming from Middle Eastern parents, there's obviously influences to certain directions that they wanted you to go, just like all of us have. How did it kind of start? I obviously know the story, and I don't want to go too crazy in depth because most people know it by now, but I just want to get a little gist of like how it started. Where did it come from? Who are sort of the people that I guess inspired you to go into this? And yeah, man. When
I first, like, obviously, like growing up in a Middle Eastern house, like Persian parents and shit, like it's natural, everyone's always comparing each other's sons and daughters, like, oh, my son is going to lawyer school, or my son is doing the engineer. I'm like, doing the engineer? Like, what do you mean? Which engineer?
My son is opening up a bond.
Yeah, bond, yeah. It's like same typical, like, immigrant shit. But like, and my parents are a little bit hard on me, like, earlier on in my life, because like, I'm the youngest too, so it's like you're always the most sensitive towards the youngest, to be honest. But like I also got away with a lot of shit, got pampered compared to my brother because he's the older one. But like, you know, they expect you to go to school. I was in fucking Kumon with all the Chinese people, you know, fucking crushing math equations. You know what I'm saying? And then I do all the extracurriculars, tutoring, fucking, you know, sports, everything, right? And music, you know what I'm saying? And I actually love all those things. It's just that they were, as much as like they were hard on me and they wanted me to like excel in everything I did, they still supported like me trying new things, even from a younger age. Like if I didn't like something, I'd be like, but I want to try this. And they're like, okay, fine. But like, just do it. Like, you know.
If you start something, finish it.
Yeah. So luckily they've always kind of been supportive in that way. So it makes sense why now when I'm doing something I love and like I'm actually good at it now, then they're fully supportive of it. Like, you know, at first when I dropped out of university to like pursue comedy and acting, they were a little hesitant. Like my dad's like, "What do you mean you want to be like comedy? Like how are you gonna make money? Like what, you know what I'm saying? Where's the money?" I'm like, "Bro, I haven't even gone to school yet. Like I haven't even tried. I haven't been on stage once." He's like, "Where's the money?" I don't know, bro. I'll tell you in a few years. Let me just try it first, right? But like I don't. And then my mom's crying. She's like, "Oh my god, like how are you gonna make it succeed? How are you gonna make money?
Hey, you want to be a clown?"
Yeah, exactly. Like the fucking classic Amir K. bit. It's like it's so true. Like, but. They saw how much conviction I had to just do this thing that it clicked for me, man. When I was like, yo, I could do comedy. I always kind of was mediocre at everything my whole life in school. And like, I was doing things that other people wanted me to do, right? And I felt like I had this obligation to kill it for them and not for myself. And so that's why when I found something that's like for me, I was like, yo, I'm going to double down and kill it. And one thing my dad actually told me when I first started doing comedy, when I told him I was dropping out, I dropped out without even telling them. I dropped out and then I told them that I'm dropping out to do comedy. So you can imagine the fucking heart attack they were having. You know what I'm saying? My dad was like, okay, well, they saw how convicted I was. They're like, okay, well, if you're going to do this, like make sure you do it 100%. And like that fucking line sticks with me to this day. Every time I do comedy, every day I'm writing stuff, I'm performing, I'm making content, and I think about my career, I think about my dad saying that, and it helps me like continue, move forward, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I can't let them down at this point, you know what I'm saying? I let them down enough in my life. So I have to fucking kill, and, you know, but at the same time, like, it's still important to do things for yourself. And finally, I'm doing something for myself. And that's why I'm doing better for other people as well, for the people around me. And so now everyone's happy. Everyone's like, you know, excited for the shit that's coming. And like, but like, this is what happens when you try and you actually stick with something consistently for years. Yeah. Because my thing, man, my belief is like the more I work on something, eventually something's going to happen.
For sure.
I always think that way.
Consistency.
Yeah, I always think that way. And nothing could happen for months, but I still like have that belief. And if I look back on like the stuff that I've been doing and that I've accomplished in the past few years with comedy, like sometimes I forget, but I'm proud of myself. And I think it's important to like tell yourself that you're proud of yourself, because a lot of times like you're used to like other people maybe like, relying on other people to tell you. But man, like why not fucking tell yourself this shit?
Yeah.
So
sure.
Yeah, I don't know. If
Plus it's manifestation too. Like you've manifested so long, and that's a whole nother topic. Like,
yeah.
Like,
but you have to manifest, but also take action. You can't just fucking.
You can't just write it and just expect it to just like. You got to make progress into going into that manifestation, and then eventually it'll happen.
100%. You can't just be like a girl like, oh my god, I'm gonna meet a fucking guy who has a yacht, and he's gonna take me in forever, and we're gonna be happily ever after. No, like you have to go on the yacht. You have to go to Miami, shake your ass, hope someone's gonna see you, and they have a yacht, and then you'll get the fucking yacht. You know what I'm saying? You gotta work for it. You gotta work for it.
It's actually, bro, it's a very common notion for young people nowadays. It's like, and we've talked about this on the show before, where it's like so many people are of the belief that my time's gonna come. If I just sit around, you know, like everyone has their moment, so it's just a matter of time before God does something good for me. But in reality, it's like the only guarantee, and we've said this on the show, is if you sit around and do nothing, nothing's gonna happen. Yeah. Right? You have to do something. You gotta make a move,
and then eventually everything will slowly start to make sense. But
if
you sit there and just...
and also I forget who said it, but it sticks with me to this day. They're like, nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's fucking profound, and I think about that shit all the time. So it's as simple as that, I think.
So yeah, as long as you take the first step, there's no guarantee that it's gonna work out. But like, crap, I hate to. You know what? I'm gonna quote this guy. Andrew Tate said, he's like, you could be down.
Canceled.
Canceled. There we go.
Canceled.
We just lost monetization.
Oh shit. Yo, Romania, let's go.
No, but in all seriousness, though, he said something that was really profound too. He's like, if you're behind in life or any aspect of your life, it's like a chessboard, right? You owe it to yourself to make the best possible move on the chessboard. 9 times out of 10, like, you still might not win if you're playing against people like him or people that are know what the heck they're doing.
For sure.
But if you continue to play the best moves every single time, you just increase your chances of doing something.
Exactly. It's a numbers game, man. It's the amount of the amount of shots you take.
100%. And one of them actually hit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yo, this shisha's fucking smooth, by the way. Holy shit, bro!
Shout out
I feel like
I'm
smoking like liquid air, bro. Like it's fucking. It's like it's creasing the inside of my throat, actually, just making it's like an orgasm in my fucking.
You want to know
throat.
something funny?
What?
I want you to rip on this right now.
What?
You know what this flavor's called?
What?
Rose water.
Oh my god!
It's golab.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Buddy. That's what it is.
Bro, I never in my life that I think I'd be smoking Persian spice.
Maybe next time we'll do some saffron.
Right, my fucking mom make this? This is something my mom would make. Here, have some rose water.
Next time she caters, you might as well just bring it.
Literally, seriously, yeah.
We're just missing the saffron tea. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. What's in this hormus abs? It's very tasty. It's rose water shisha.
Do you remember what your first skit was?
Yeah. It was Persian parents versus white parents.
Yeah,
on YouTube 8 years ago.
And how was that?
It was cringe as fuck.
Yeah.
I want to kill myself looking back on every time. But it's the start of the foundation. You know, you got to start somewhere, right?
Sure.
Now, starting from that, and then what was the first video that actually blew up for you?
Well, that one was kind of a blow up when I first started, like compared to relative to where I was at and like the following I had on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But every other video after that for years tanked. Like I wouldn't get over 1,000 views for 5 years. Yeah, I swear to God. But I would consistently post every week. I had a small little fan base from the very beginning. Yeah, it's very small, like maybe like 100 people. And some of them still stick. Man, like I got a comment yesterday on one of my videos on Instagram. He's like, "Yo, man, it's crazy. Like I've been watching you since like early YouTube days. Wow. When I'm Persian parents, white parents videos, and like it's so nice to see you like blow up and like have the success you're having." And I'm like, that shit fucking means a lot because I'm like, I remember vividly where I was at. Yeah. And it's nice to look back and reflect and be like, fuck, man, like I came a long way. It's such a sweet feeling. But yeah, man, that was one of the first ones I made. And that was like the easiest thing for me to do at the time. Because I'm like, I was just starting out. I'm very green. I'm like, okay, like what's like the easiest thing I can do to just like start? And I was like, okay, like there's nothing I know more than like how to like make fun of my mom, right? Do impression of my mom. So that's where it came from. And then I just did it and I did well. And yeah, man, like from there, from the very beginning, actually, like I had this like weird intuition to not just like box myself in and just do Persian stuff, because a lot of like comedians, whether they're Persian or Mexican, whatever it is, like sometimes they just do those kind of jokes and they box themselves in.
They get stuck.
They get stuck, right? You hit a ceiling at some point, right? There are comedians like Maximini, you know what I'm saying? Like all he does is Persian stuff, right? It's fine. He has a market, but like if that's all you want, then you can't get out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so what I wanted to do from the beginning is like separate myself from that way, because I want it to be global. I want to be fucking worldwide. Like I'm gonna hit every other culture. I want to hit every joke. Like I'll be more modern. You know. Sorry?
You're super versatile, because now if you want to get like an acting gig, for example,
that's what I'm saying.
You don't necessarily have to be like that terrorist.
Fucking terrorist, which I literally booked the first audition I ever did. Bro, I swear to God. I was busting my ass trying to get an agent for like 3 years. Bro, I get my first ever audition, and it was for The Boys, the show The Boys on Amazon Prime. Yeah. First ever audition I ever did. And like I was like, oh sick, I'm getting an audition, and she's like, yeah, it's like it's kind of like it's like a Syrian guy. I'm like, oh okay, cool, man. Like I'm not Persian,
like Syrian refugee,
whatever,
like,
refugee, like at the worst. Yeah. I'm like, cool, whatever, it's fine. It's my first time, bro. I go in, it's like, okay, so this guy is a fucking Syrian terrorist, and you're gonna blow yourself up. I'm like, what? Are you serious? Right? I'm like, no, man, I don't want to fucking get to this point after all these years. And then whatever. I actually ended up killing the role because I had to learn Arabic to do the role. Within like a few days, and I did it. Went into the audition, and they loved it. And then like the day after, like they booked the role. I was like, yeah, it's sick, but like I have to fucking blow myself up. I'm like, here we go. Like I was scared to do it in a way because I was like, oh fuck, what if I just get typecasted after this? And to be honest, man, I haven't booked anything since except for like I was a lead in a movie a few months ago.
Oh yeah,
which was pretty dope. Independent film, like lower budget, but like still sick. Like 3 weeks of filming, it was dope. And I was actually playing a Persian fob in that. It was pretty much just Bobak in a fucking movie, which is super dope. But it's a step above from the terrorist. Yeah. So I feel like it'll eventually get to that point where like you broaden your horizons a little more, and eventually I'll get those other roles. But that's the thing, man. That's what happens when you have a certain look, man. Like sometimes they automatically, naturally will like typecast you either way. But like you just have to do your best to get out of it somehow. But I don't know.
Touching on the fact that you said obviously the support system you have and like the family around you, obviously as the years have gone by, the fame has obviously grown. You're massive. You can't even walk down the street, people recognize you now. So how is that sort of like your ego? Obviously you're not an egotistical kind of guy. How has that kind of impacted the way you see life and things? And obviously so many people are messaging you. How are you differentiating between people that are actually genuine and they just want to just be associated with you and they want to try to like quote unquote use you? And obviously you're getting so much more attention now from the ladies or like, and I want to go into like the relationship side of things and all that stuff.
You probably have a really good bullshit radar too, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And like it's almost like if I was someone who was reaching out to you, like I wouldn't even know if you're being serious with me. It's like, how are you differentiating between that with, let's say, someone getting a little bit more serious? Are you talking to them in an accent? Like all that stuff is like something that's so curious to me and like others. I'm sure like they're like, okay, you know what, this guy was just a regular kind of guy, and now he's like, he's massive, bro. Yeah, walking down the street, people are like, shit, is that Neema Naz'S trying to take pictures with you? And like, how has that kind of on a day-to-day basis affected your life?
Well, first of all, like I'm better than both of you guys. But
no question.
No. I once again it comes back to having the right people around you. Like my brother, for instance, for example, is like my biggest critic in a way. Like he'll never like hype me up too much because he knows it'll inflate my head. Yeah. And I'll just get an ego. But naturally, it's what happens, man. Like you're only human, right? Like it can definitely get to your head sometimes, and it has a couple of times, but it's never gone to the point where I'm like, I'm that person. Like it's only just been a thought, and then my brother's like shuts it down. He's like, shut the fuck up, you're nobody. Sit down. Right? He's literally. Yeah. Which is, it's obviously like it sounds shitty, but it's very important because like if you get too inflated in your head and your ego, then you stop, you don't see your blind side, your blind spots. That's why it's good to have people like outside of you to tell you where your blind spots are, so you can keep improving, keep growing. Otherwise, man, like I'd be lost. If I didn't have someone like him in my life, like Cyrus, my team member, my producer, like all these guys who keep it real and like tell you how it is. Like that's why no wonder some people they lose it. Like they get famous and they think they're better than everybody else. Yeah. But like you're not. No one gives a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like no, for sure. At the end of the day, no one really cares that much. And so from the very beginning, it's always been like that, where like I've had my brother or someone around me to like kind of keep it real with me, and that's what's helped me remain the same person. Like the person you met 4 or 5 years ago, I haven't changed since. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Like since we walked in here today, we're talking right now. That's exactly how we've talked before.
If anything, you're more polished, you're more relaxed, you're more calm now.
Yeah, and more confident. Yeah. Exactly. Because like it's naturally
it's oozing confidence.
Oozing confidence and calm. And
he's a grower.
Cause I'm definitely barely a grower. Yeah, exactly. We're getting canceled for all this for 100%. But no. So it's about that, man. It's having the right relationships around you, and yeah, man, like it's cool, man. When I'm walking down the street sometimes, or I'm in a random store or whatever, like I'm driving, like people, they're yelling my name or they take a video and they send it to me afterwards and like, yo, is this you? Or like they just come up blatantly on the street like, yo, Neema Naz'S, or like, yo, you TikTok guy, Gary V, whatever the fucking bullshit they say. And it's like, it's cool. It's definitely very cool. But like, I try not to let it get to my head at all, because it's just like, it's something that's just like supposed to happen. Yeah. There's no need to like attach it to any meaning. It's just that it's more so just like, okay, people recognize who I am and like they're showing love. It means I'm on the right path. I'm doing the right thing. And that's how I see it for the most part. It's just keep going. Like,
does it ever affect you in the way where it's like so many people are approaching you? It's like you're getting a little flustered, and it's like, holy shit, like I have no personal space. Like I can't even just like be normal for like 2 seconds.
Bro, I swear. Before there's a time where like before I wouldn't have to think about going into a public establishment and like worrying about like someone seeing me either not that it matters, but like drink alcohol or like eat food or whatever. Because like there was times in my life before, if I was famous before, I'm not famous now, but I'm just saying like if people knew who I was like 5-6 years ago when I was a disgusting fucking just gremlin who would binge eat food and like stuff my face, it would be bad. Because like I have to think about these things because I'm like I can't just be out in public like or like just stuffing my face with food. Like someone could be watching and like they're a fan or they're filming me. Like it's just weird to think about, so now I just have to be more conscious of like my surroundings and how I present myself, because I think it matters. To keep up with the image and
optics, image,
but still be authentic. I'm not gonna change who I am. I'm just saying, like,
definitely have an influence on people. Plus, I'm sure you're a role model for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah.
So you don't want to obviously portray a wrong image.
No, exactly.
As much as like you don't care what people think or say, but at the same time, like there might be a little kid who's like 10 years old, and he might see you like crush like 42 pizzas,
bro. And that guy's like, "Yo, I want to be like Neema Naz'S one day."
And then he looks and he's like, "Shit, bro, Neema can eat, bro."
Yeah, this is fucking whale, bro. Yeah, exactly. So, it's sometimes like there's places now I can't actually go there anymore because every time I've been there in the past few times, I've just been bombarded, to be honest. And like I don't like that. I don't know. Like I want to just have my personal space sometimes. And like there are certain places I just can't go into anymore because I know I'll just get hounded. And it's happened. There's a couple times where I went out at night. My brother was DJing, and like people are, especially when they're drinking, bro, at night.
Oh shit,
bro,
they get rowdy and all that.
Dude, like my brother had to tell someone to fuck off because he was just like so aggressive with me. Like holding me and like grabbing my shoulder, like, yo, like, hey, what's up, yo, can you do this accent, yo, bro? Like people like filming me, like, yo, do the accent. I'm like, bro, I'm not a fucking clown,
bro. I'm not your puppet,
dance
bro.
monkey dance. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that are real for me now, and on a smaller scale because it's only gonna get bigger and bigger.
For sure.
So I just have to be more wary of like where I am, who I'm with, and like I actually have to roll with people I trust now more often.
Strategic,
I can't just go somewhere alone really that much. Like. Obviously, I'm not Drake, but I'm just saying, like,
not yet.
Like those times where I went out at night, like whether I was by myself or like on a date.
Bro, we used to even pull up, like, this is way back. We'd pull up and like people would come up to you like, shit, bro, like, so I can imagine what it is now.
That's what I'm saying. Now it's way,
and it's like even like just for you, like even people that you know now are probably going places like, yo, aren't you Neema's boy?
Yeah.
It's like, yo, to this day I still get people saying, yo, like, aren't you like like, you know how many people send me videos of you just like, yo, like, bro, like can you just tell him to meet me? I'm like, bro,
that's so funny.
Like I haven't seen the guy in a minute. He's on tour, bro. What do you mean? Like he's like, bro, like, come on, bro, like you're gatekeeping. I'm like, bro, what gatekeeping, bro?
Like, that's so funny.
Like it's not even like that.
No, it's like I mean, that's so funny that you have to go through that still, but. Yeah, man.
Bro,
like,
literally, I have one guy. I'm not even gonna say his name. He sends me your video. Like he sends me your video before I actually see your video.
That's so
because
funny.
For the longest time, your video wouldn't pop up for whatever algorithm it is.
I was shadow banned for a while.
So like just recently, bro, I'm like, fuck, bro. Like I click the select thing where it shows you like all the videos that drop. I'm like, fuck, let's do this. So, bro, he sends me every single video, like the second intro. He's like, bro, LMFAO, hell. I'm like, bro, like, I'm not Neema, bro. Like, you can reply to the comment, bro. He's like, bro, like, I just really want to meet him, bro. I'm like, yeah,
so
bro, I'd want to meet him too.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Bro. Like, shit.
I know.
And, like, he literally, like, he's the biggest fan,
That's
bro.
so
He's
funny.
the biggest fan. Guy's, like, 42 years old.
That's so funny.
And he's, like, your biggest fan.
Amazing.
So.
Yeah, no, I know there's a lot of people who do that. Like, the number one compliment I get is, like, people are like, yo, we have group chats for just your videos.
Wow.
And so, like, that's the coolest shit in my opinion, man, because that means, like, I've impacted a certain group of people in a way where it's literally changing their mood just from what I'm putting out. And that's one of the main reasons I started doing what I do in the first place, is to not only just make people laugh, but like inspire them, like help, like, bring some joy into their world, right?
For sure.
But yeah, man, there's sometimes when I'm walking out in public and I don't know, like, I'm only human. What if one day I'm just really sad about something or I'm mad about something, and like I have to, like, when people come up to me, I have to almost like be cheery and positive, because I can't be a dick.
Yeah.
Right? Because then they'll just leave a bad taste in their mouth, and they have no context about, oh, this guy was fucking rude to me, or he brushed me off. But really, like, I don't know, something maybe happened that day. Whatever, you know what I'm saying?
We're human.
That's why I say, like, for the most part, man, like, every time I go in public now, I have to be with someone like that can help me, like, almost like guide these things. Because, like, yeah, there's times when, like, I was with my brother and a bunch of people came up to me, and like I was pretty much getting circled around, like, but like he had to be like, all right guys, like, we have to go, we have to get somewhere, we have to go. And like maybe like he came out as a dick, but like it's okay because he's a manager.
Yeah.
Right. Like but I can't be like, yo guys, like I can't talk right now. You know what I'm saying? Like comes off wrong.
For sure.
So that's why I'm so like adamant on having the right people to roll with you. That's why people have entourages. I actually get it more than than ever.
Yeah.
Like people who have entourages. Like you need to have those people to like kind of like push people aside, or people are being aggressive, or like they say weird shit. So
you're in the creative industry, and on this show we like.
No, I'm in the porn industry. What do you mean?
that's off camera.
He's got an 18-inch
18-inch fucking grenade launcher, pal.
But like anything else in the creative industry, it's a tough industry to make it and to monetize. And on this show specifically, we like to talk about entrepreneurship too. Against all odds, the odds were stacked against you and stuff, and you committed and you persevered and you made a name out of yourself. You made a brand. At what point did you know that, hey, I can actually monetize this, I can make money out of it?
That's good. Yeah. First of all, my fucking tits are sweating. My fucking boobies, bro. Holy shit.
Lips are hard too. Look,
I know, my lips are fucking cut glass. Yo, I'll fucking taper your beard right now with my nipples.
You need to line up, actually.
Yeah, you need to line up, bro. Come here, bro.
That's it, bro. Put some designs in the back too.
Yeah, bro. This whole conversation is so hot on, bro. This guy, I feel bad. He's doing a Ramadan. The producer behind this, can't see him. And we're just talking about fucking porn and sex and nipples cutting. This guy's trying to fucking pray to Allah and shit. You can't. No, he's a fucking. This guy's got to do some next level fucking prayer just to get rid of the sins. We're smoking shisha. Like, I'm breaking my fast with water, bro. I'm drinking water in front of fucking guys fasting. I feel like terrible. Fuck. Yeah, man. Like, the business side is so different. And I mentioned before how my brother was clutch in having him around, because he's more of the business mind than I am. I'm just strictly creative, to be honest. Like, I know a little bit about the business side of things, but having someone like him in the circle to like know about business is super clutch, because he had to go through it with DJing and nightlife industry for so long that he naturally just learned by doing and experimenting and like getting fucked over and going through trials and tribulations to now whereas like, you know, because he handles all the emails and like meetings and like, you know, like you have to reach out to him just to because like it's not even because like it's an ego thing or like whatever. It's just because like he just handles all the scheduling too now. Like I'm at a point where like I just can't worry about those things, you know. I have to worry about like the creativity. Like I have to make the content. I have to make the jokes for stand up. You know, I have to work on my health. There's so many the list of things that just never ends, right? So, like having the contrast between me and him is like so clutch, because like he can just worry about, you know, making the right decisions for the business, you know, taking the right meetings or, you know, reaching out to people. All that stuff, and it's a numbers game too, man. Like they're in entrepreneurship, like we made like the most money I've ever made in my life last year, up until now. Yeah. But then now it's like we're pretty much back to like ground zero. You know what I'm saying? We have to like again like find a way to make that money. So it's like you can go 0 to 100 very quickly in this business. But what makes it easier is to build the foundation of like building like a what's it called, like a consistent source of income through like, you know, I'm lucky because I do stand up, so we can leverage like my audience in the right way to like come to my live shows. Like I do stand up shows like every week now, and like I'm going on tour. I did a tour, you know what I'm saying? Like we make money that way. A lot of content creators who are funny or whatever online, they don't have the opportunity to do this. Yeah. So it's like, you know, it's like something that makes sense with our business model, and it's something I actually do. It's like it's my craft. So I can do content online and then bring people to the live shows, and then like that's how we make, you know, some money. Or like, you know, we partner up with somebody to do like a certain amount of content with them. You know, brand deal here and there. We don't like to take on too many brand deals to be honest, because we also don't want to make our social media and our brand like too diluted. You know what I'm saying? Like taking too many of these ads. Like I don't want to become like an ad page at all.
Yeah.
I just want to keep it as cool and authentic as possible. Authentic, you know.
You don't want to be like one of these the influencer girls with the fit tee.
50, that shit. I've always been turned off by that. As a consumer, I see comedians online or like entertainers do these like content, like collabs with these like partners and stuff like that. When it's like overbearing, it's too much, and like it's a turnoff. I'm like, I don't want to watch this anymore. And like sometimes I've unfollowed people or I've restricted them, so I don't want to see it. And so we just do our best to avoid that, and just. Like it's better to just find one person to work with rather than 20, pretty much.
But I also like the way when, like, I remember you had this one like deal with, and we're not going to say the name. You had a deal, and the reason why I remember the specific deal was just the way you curated the content. It wasn't really like promoting the brand so hard. It was more like, listen, this is who I am. It just happens that I'm wearing this. 100%. And I remember for the longest time I was ordering stuff on that website, and I would try to scroll back on your TikTok to find the promo code. It was like 10% off. I'm like, yo, let me just like support my boy. But it was like the reason why it's like I remember this and it kind of stuck with me is just because it wasn't like, yo, listen, like this is my like product. It was more just like, yo, listen, like this is what I'm doing, like this is what I'm wearing,
right?
Like shit.
I'm already doing it.
Yeah, like I'm already doing it. It just happens that I'm wearing this and just like use this. And you didn't kind of like make it so like bold into the video where it's like, yo, promo code this. It was kind of just in like the bios. Yeah. And it's like I had to scroll through it. And I think that's what makes you a little bit different compared to everyone else. Where it's like they're always like, oh, like use promo code this, use promo code that, and it's like so out there. Like swipe up. It's like, yo, listen, like no one needs to do that. Like I'm gonna be who I am, and it's kind of just there.
Yeah. Plus, you gotta always align with brands that make sense with you. Make sense with your brand. Make sense with 100%. Your vision. So
yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure you get the guys that are like, oh, but like what the hell, man? Like I've been your boy for so long. Why don't you support? Like you get that all the time. And
yeah, sometimes. I mean, but like now I'm at a point where we've set the boundaries so much over the past couple. We've set the boundary so much over the past couple of years that people now are starting to get how we roll, and like, you know, people get stupid inquiries all the time. Like, you know, someone's like, yo, man, like, can Neema like just like come to my wedding and like we'll give him a plate of food? I'm like, do you know what the fuck I'm doing here?
What?
Yeah, swear to God, people still email about that. I'm like, bro, like, do you know what we're even like, who we are, like what we're trying to do here? Like, I'm a fucking professional. Like like this is my business.
That's like messaging Tiesto and saying you just pull
literally
up, like, you know,
like yeah, sure, man, no worries. Let me just take time out of my day that I could spend those 8 hours at your wedding.
It's not like I even know you. Like,
no, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so we've done a good job of like saying no a lot, and I think there's a value in saying no to most things, because you want to keep it special. You want to keep it, you know, like you want to nurture that professional image. So yeah, man, it's just like, but that just comes with the territory, man. Like a lot of people, you know, they come out of desperation or like they just want to shoot their shot, which is fine. But I think there's a lot of value in just like saying no and you know, not taking the money right now, but like setting yourself up for the future where you can make double that money or exponential amount of money with something that actually makes sense. Because I could have very easily taken like hundreds of these mini brand deals along the way. I would have made like, you know, I don't know, decent amount of money, but in return, I'm losing my value. I was like, it's too cheap. I don't know. It's too accessible.
Yeah, because now you have like you have a brand deal for socks. You have a brand deal for like a shirt. It's like
loses,
like everything. I'm a brand deal myself at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. It's you're a walking ad, and like, that's no one wants to see that, right? So like, bro, like this chain I'm wearing right now, Marcoso, like these guys are like I know them, and from before I even started doing comedy, really, like I was just starting out, and like the owner who happened to like just gift me one for my birthday, and I never wore chains, jewelry ever before these guys, and like ever since that moment, it stuck with me because I'm like, oh, one, they're local, but two, they're good guys, and they're actually like hustling in their own way, and he didn't have to give me this chain, you know what I'm saying? But ever since that moment, every day I wear their shit, and like I'm loyal to the brand now, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so I'm more about that. I'm more about like, you know, staying loyal to one thing rather than like a bunch of things. So I'm not like, I don't care about the money that much, to be honest. Like I know the money will come the right way eventually. So
for sure,
long, like it's I keep sounding like Gary Vee, but like, so it's literally just, you got to think of the macro. Like
Actually,
it's a long game.
I think Gary V's in the back there. Actually,
yeah, he is. Yeah, patience. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you gotta fucking create value, my man. Okay. But so
that's something actually I wanted to touch on.
Yeah,
I remember for the longest time you were trying to like you're putting out content for Gary and like you're doing the impressions and whatnot. And I remember he blocked you.
Yeah.
For the longest time.
Did he actually?
And I don't think a lot of people remember this.
Yeah.
He blocked you.
Yeah, their team blocked me.
The team blocked me or whatever the case was. And I remember you're like, yo, listen, like Gary, like what's going on? And like for the longest time, like he was reaching, man, like this is like OG days.
Yeah, I remember. It was 2-3 years ago.
He was like pushing content like Gary hard. Like he's like, yo, listen, what the hell? And, like his fans were getting upset now. Like, yo, like Gary, like how could you do that, bro? Like we thought you were the guy, and like now his fans are getting upset and then there was like a war, and then all of a sudden, like fast forward, and then all of a sudden you see like. And like one day I just went on TikTok or Instagram and I just see Neema's on stage with Gary.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
I know.
Like, how did that even happen? Like,
there was a reaction video actually before that of Gary V reacting.
Yeah, to my clip. Yeah.
So how was that? And like, how was interacting with him? And
that was dope, man. Yeah, he's the most humble guy for sure. Like, he's exactly who he is online in person, which is super cool. Yeah, man. Like at the time, his team blocked me because they were like, oh, we usually block people who like are spamming the comments or whatever, like they tag him a lot. But like, so what happened was every time I posted a Gary V video, bare people would tag Gary V on my video. So they probably thought it was like spam, but like, it was just like a thing they did with everyone. But like once I told them like, yo, I'm actually a fan, like this is just who I am, and like I'm trying to do impression, they're like, okay, cool. So they unblocked me. And then like a few months after, I was just trying to get his attention for so long. A few months after, I see he likes my TikTok video and he comments. I think he said, he said like you have so much fucking time. Like he quoted the line I said in the video, and I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. And then like slowly but surely, like a few weeks after, like he liked another thing, he commented more. Then he followed me on like Twitter, TikTok, and then Instagram, and then he reposted one of my other videos on his story after that. And then the biggest part was when he was on Andrew Schultz's Flagrant 2 podcast, and they were reviewing the best Gary V impersonator, and like he shouted me out, obviously. And he's like, yo, this guy's a fucking beast. And I was like, that's cool. Fuck yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. And the thing that he said that was really interesting was he was watching my shit for 2 years before he even interacted. So because he's like, yo, he made a good point. He's like, I'm not gonna like interact with someone who's like doing an impression of me until I know they're taking it seriously and they're staying consistent. Just in general, not even just doing an impression, but like he wanted to wait to see if I was going to continue like trying, because that's what he cares about is effort, right? So and like, that was pounding shit. I was like fucking going on. I was literally taking his method of pumping out content and running with it.
Oh wow,
that's so he's like, yo, I want to just wait a couple years, but I've been seeing your stuff for 2 years. I was like, that's fucking crazy. So
how'd you feel in that moment?
It was dope, man. Like so surreal, because I was like, this is the shit I live for. Yeah. I'm like, this is exactly why I dropped out, to do shit like this, so I can like, I know I can achieve these things, and it is happening before my eyes, and I'm like, see, motherfuckers, like I told you, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking to myself, but also everyone else. So it's like it's possible if you just fucking put in the effort, you stay consistent, and you don't give up, man. Like this shit will work out eventually, right? And so it did. And then like 2 months later, their team reaches out to us on email, and they're like, yeah, we want to invite Neema to come to VCon and open the fucking conference.
Wow.
Before Gary goes on stage. I'm like, what the fuck? That's amazing. I'm like, what is going on? Right? All because I just took this camera, stuck it in my face, and I did something that I thought was funny. Yeah. So I'm like, anything's possible. After that, it really opened my eyes. I'm like, anything's possible. And then after that was when, you know, everything else started to hit too. I was doing fucking David Goggins impressions. Then he reposted my video on his own page and tagged me on it, and that got like 5 million views. You know what I'm saying? Like, all because I just put myself out there, and I was like, I'm gonna do an impression of David Goggins. Stay hard. You know what I'm saying? Like motivational guys. And then fucking, you know, Alex Hormozy was a recent one.
That's what I was literally gonna bring up right now.
Bro. And the thing is, we look up to all these guys, my whole group, my whole team. Like, we all love these guys, and that's why I'm actually doing the impressions in the first place.
Funny enough,
because we watch them.
His wife actually sent me a message on TikTok. saying like, she's like, I love what you do. She's like, we definitely should connect sometime.
Oh wow.
And then this is probably like 3-4 months ago, and then like, literally 2 days later I go on TikTok and it's like, you fucking make an impression. I'm like, fuck
yeah
like this just threw me off,
bro.
Like,
crazy, right?
No,
and that's
crazy.
the thing. It's like you just never know, man. And like and then and then Alex Morris is like, yo, they love my Persian videos.
Yeah,
like who would have thought, right? But the Persian makes sense, but at the same time, like that's what I mean. Like this all only happened was because I was just doing me. I was just doing things I enjoy, and you don't know who's watching. You never know who's watching. It's just and then like, when I connected with the Hormozis, bro, they're like, yeah, like let's collab post, and I was like, what the fuck? This is sick. Collab post, bro. This guy has so many more followers than I do. I'm like, this is exactly why I love this shit. And then like obviously that goes well. I ended up meeting him in Vegas. It was fucking dope. You know, we had dinner with them, and like they're just like regular people, but like they're so successful, like crazy, like not even on the same level. But
it's
they're
like
just
it's like a
they're
variation
humans.
of
They're
networking,
humans.
and this is something that I always say. It's like you got to network, and it's like you're networking in a content creator way, where it's like you're putting content. He's got a little boob sweat, guys. He's making me a little nervous right now. It's literally what I say about networking. It's like in each of our businesses, like for me, it's like I always got to network, meet new people, and that's what's eventually going to be able to grow my business. Same thing with you. It's like you're building this content, you're putting out like content and creating with different aspects and just in unique ways where people are kind of seeing it, and now you're connecting with like the Gary Vee of the world. They're like the Alex Hormozi, and like who's next, like, you know.
100%, bro. Joe Rogan's next. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah,
for sure. I just know it. I say this about every single person I'm like, it's gonna happen one day. So this is me manifesting it now.
We're trying to get Joe on the pod. So
yeah,
Joe,
exactly.
We're waiting.
That's what I'm saying. Like
it's almost like you in your head, it's already done. Now you just gotta kind of.
It's just a matter of like matter of time.
Yeah.
Because like I'm already doing the impression. I've posted a couple of videos. They've been doing really well, and I'm only getting better at the impression. You know, I'm gonna still continue to work on it and grow from it. Because like, man, the first Gary Vee video I posted was garbage. It didn't sound like Gary Vee at all. Right, but like I had to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I feel like with a lot of the accents and like a lot of the personalities that you've put together. They've obviously grown as their own like little brand.
Yeah.
Over time, like you're obviously getting better at all these accents because. You're doing it more. Like I just saw the recent one you just did with the Filipino one.
Yeah,
killed me. It was
Philippines.
Jokes. Yeah, that was jokes. Like hi Tito,
thanks, man.
Salamat po. Yeah. Jokes.
Balakbayan house.
Yeah.
People don't know this, man. It's like any creative endeavor, especially comedy, though. It's like it's an iterative process. You're constantly fine tuning. It's like experimenting almost. You gotta, like in marketing terms, it's like A/B testing. You gotta throw something out, see how it's received by the general public, and then fine tune it from there, and then fine tune until you have like a complete.
Like just like you literally do collabs with, like, for example, like impersonation of Gary Vee. I'm literally driving down the street. I see a billboard of a realtor. I'll literally chirp on them. I'll be like, listen, like, you know, why is your board peeling? Or like, why are you wearing this? Or why are you wearing that? And it's like, I get two kinds of people. I get the clients who are like these guys who are doing the boards that are like, wow, like I can't believe you just disrespected me. Like my brand is tarnished now. I'm like, buddy, your brand has been tarnished since it's been on the billboard. And then you get the guys who are like, holy shit, man, like I really want to work with you. Like let's connect. That's the same thing. And that's how I think like somehow every industry kind of relates to each other in some sort of way. Like the blueprints are all the same. It's just how you're going to adapt it to your industry, like for comedy or for how I'm going to do it for advertising or marketing, or if you're in like sales or whatever the case is. So
yeah, 100%, man. And it's I think the key here is to keep an open mind the whole time, because like you never know who you're gonna run into or work with, or I don't know what opportunity might come your way. You just have to have a growth mindset about it. You have to be and you also have to have the humility to accept that maybe you're wrong sometimes.
That's huge.
And like you have to change adapt the way you think or do something. So
I'm curious to know who your biggest comedic inspirations were growing up, and like what was it about them that really stuck with you?
Russell Peters was my first inspiration as a kid,
which
I'm sure we all did.
In a second about that too. I want to talk about that in a second.
Yeah. Like I remember I was in my living room when I was a kid watching Just for Laughs on TV with my dad, and like we saw Russell Peters when he was first blowing up, and I was like, yo, this is fucking hilarious. This guy's just like a brown guy on stage doing accents about other cultures. I'm like, this is crazy. I want to fucking do this shit, because like I was already doing that in my house, which is weird, right? But it made sense because when I found out that he also grew up in Brampton around like also other cultures. Like he's from the same place, so it makes sense why he's doing that. Like I get it because I grew up around all these people.
Yeah.
And so that was one of my first influences for sure. And all my friends, me and my brother still quote some of his stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it's timeless. So that's kind of like the initial inspiration for me. And then eventually when I started doing comedy, you know, I like guys like Chris D'Elia, and I feel like I'm very much like goofy like him. You know what I'm saying? Like on stage especially, and like I just like the way he talks and like the stupid thoughts he has. It's really funny. And then like, you know, Louis C.K. is like one of my favorite comedians. Just killer. Like fucking his jokes are crazy good. You know, Dave Chappelle's obviously the GOAT. And then, you know, like Kevin Hart is like, he's not the funniest comedian in my opinion, but like he's one of my favorites because he's a fucking mogul. And this guy is doing what I want to do on a large scale.
Yeah.
Like he's not only just a comedian, he's an actor, he's a producer, he's a writer, he's a fucking director, like everything. He's in movies, right? Like he does stand up.
Going back to what you said, being versatile.
Being versatile.
Just comedy.
No.
You're able to act,
everything.
You're able to do everything. So.
He's a Nike athlete.
Yeah.
The first comedian to be a Nike athlete. Like I want to do that shit. Like I want to have like, I care about fitness and health way more now. And eventually I want to have like an Adidas sponsor. You know what I'm saying? Like why can't I do that? Right.
For sure.
So a guy like Kevin Hart is like a big inspiration just overall for me because he's doing exactly what I want to do in my future. And like, you know, tours the world. He owns like 3 different types of businesses. He has his own like comedy network. You know what I'm saying? Like, but my favorite comedian right now is Andrew Schultz.
Yeah.
Andrew Schultz is a fucking killer. He's so funny. And he's someone I actually model my stand-up after now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm very much, I see a lot of myself in him. And yeah, but he's just like obviously way ahead of me now, but he's been doing it for a while.
And then what's your process like? Because before we got on the air, we were just talking behind the scenes and we said something. I don't even know what the context was, but then you immediately took your phone out and then you started writing something down because I feel like something just like snapped in your head that like this could be a bit. So like, I know some people, they like lighting up a candle or putting on headphones or just escaping and letting the creative juices flowing. Like, what's your process like?
Yeah, I just let my balls dangle off the chair and
It's going in a reel. I don't care. Let's go in a reel.
I just swing my balls like it's a swing set. You know what I'm saying? I just let it hang.
It's like swinging.
Yeah, I swing it. It's like one of those like
little boost neck for us right now.
Yeah, you know those like ball things that like you just like it like hits each other. Bang, bang. That's my balls.
Newton's cradle.
It's like a seesaw. I go outside.
He's got to do more praying.
Bro, this guy's losing it.
Dude, the thing is, he was looking at me like dead in the eye, like, yo, this is such a serious question, and then he comes up.
Hey man, that's how I am, bro. That's how I roll. I'm a comedian, okay? I'll say wild shit at any moment.
I literally want to know how he talks to girls, bro. Like, do they?
That's exactly how I do.
Oh, that's exactly what I talk about.
Yeah, that's literally what I want.
That's exactly what I do. 100%. But anyway, when it's a windy day, I go outside and I dangle my balls and then let the wind take control. Alhamdulillah, one day I will.
We're all going to hell.
Oh, we definitely are.
Yeah. This guy's like Allah Akbar, bismillah. So what's your question?
What's your creative process, bro? Like, how do you come up with shit?
Oh shit. Yo, if I had to pee so bad. My creative process is so yeah, like you mentioned earlier. Whenever
but he's always been like this, bro. He can't go to a normal setting with him just talking. He's always gotta somehow throw some shit.
So sometimes I could be doing anything. Like I could be driving, I could be taking a shower, taking a shit, beating my meat, letting my balls swing, and eating food, and then randomly a thought will pop into my head about like a story I thought about or like a moment I remembered. I'm like, oh shit, like that could be a funny joke. And then I'll pull out my phone. I'll immediately write it in my notes app. I have a whole folder that says stand-up material and video ideas. And I'll just like, whenever I think of something funny, it doesn't matter. It could be complete garbage. But just in case, I'll always write it down. Because like what I think could be funny now, I might not know how to like work with it in the moment. But like 3 years will pass and I'll look back and I'm like, oh shit, I know how to make this funny now. Or like I know how to make this like a proper joke now. So That's literally how it is, man. I don't even think about it. I don't try to think about funny things. It just comes to me, and I'll write it down immediately in my notes app, my folder, and then I'll just go with it. I'll run with it.
There's a certain like creative genius to that aspect too. It's like,
yeah, it's just how my brain works, man. Honestly, it's just like I don't know if it's a Sagittarius thing or not, but because it's a Sag gang, we're very fiery, very funny people. But Atish, Baba.
That's it, like the fire.
Atish, like fire.
Fire brought to you by
fire brought to you by Isaac. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Like,
I know you brought up Russell Peters being an inspo, and you look up to him and whatnot. I remember literally I was going to that exact show.
Oh really?
I was at the second
ACC.
show. Yeah, at the ACC.
Yeah.
And I think I missed you literally by like 2 minutes.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I didn't know.
Because I messaged Omid. I'm like, "Are you going to be at the show?" Because the night before he's like, "We're not going to be at the show." And then I messaged and he's like, "Bro, we literally just left." I'm like, "Bro, I literally just got here."
Oh.
So,
because you knew I opened for him in Ottawa and Kingston.
Exactly. So I'm like, yo, he's definitely opening up in Toronto too.
Yeah.
And then Omid's like, no, bro. Like,
we didn't know.
We're not. So literally, he's like, yo, because I remember he messaged. He's like, bro, we got a text message 30 minutes before the show, and we ran.
Yeah.
We ran to the show.
Yeah.
And then literally, I think I was late too. I picked up whatever. I think I picked up because I rented a car from like this club that I was a part of. Whatever. I picked up the car late, and then I get there, and literally, I see that. I was like, yo, who just opened? They're like, yo, Neema Naz'S was there. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, bro, have you ever heard of him? I'm like, shut up, bro. Like, I know him. Like, enough. And then I text him. He's like, yeah, bro, we literally just left. How is it obviously looking up to someone and then opening for someone like that?
Oh, man, it was
and
wild.
Then to now having your own US tour, and then now people are going to be opening up for you.
Yeah. I mean, bro, it's surreal. I'll tell you that. Because my whole life came full circle in that moment. Because I was like, bro, I literally been watching this guy for years. And I looked up to him for years. And the fact that they invited us out, not only we had lunch with Clayton, his manager, and like we formed this relationship with him now, but like they invited us to come to the show in Ottawa and Kingston. And before those shows, I had no idea it was opening either.
Wow.
They just invited us to come just watch, just to see how they operate.
Yeah.
Because we're like, yo, like what's like the business side of things? How do you deal with things? Like, here, how don't you just come watch, see how we deal with things. We get there in Ottawa was the first one. We're backstage, and then like literally 10 minutes before the show starts, I'm not even joking, my brother Clayton, Russell's manager, is also his older brother.
Nice.
Funny enough. And the same age gap too between him and Russell and me and my brother. It's pretty funny. He goes up to my brother in the back and he's like, yo, like whatever, blah blah blah, says some shit, and then my brother comes to me. Sorry, Clayton comes to me. He's like, yo, go talk to your brother real quick. And I was like, why? And he's like, just go. I was like, all right. I go to my brother. He's like, my brother looks at me. He's like, okay, so.
And I can picture him doing it.
Yeah. You know how he is.
Yeah.
How do you feel about going on stage for 10 minutes? And I was like,
Jeez.
What the fuck? I was like, are you joking? He's like, no. And I was like, fuck, obviously, yeah. Like, I didn't even think about it, but in the moment, I was like, is it actually happening? I'm like, there's no way. But obviously, like, my immediate reaction was like, hell yeah, obviously. Because, like, when your name gets called, bro, you better be ready to go. Sure. And that was one of those moments for me. I was like, my name gets called, bro, I'm on that shit. I've been practicing. I've been shooting in the gym. Let's go. And I'm like 10 minutes, like it's soft, right? Like I've been doing fucking full hours leading up to my own tour. Yeah. That's happening a few months after that. So I have a solid 10 minutes, obviously, right? But still, I'm so nervous and like shocked that like Russell Peters has asked me to open for him in a way. So bro, since that moment when I found out and I said yes, I was like, oh shit, this is real. Like I actually have to go up in 10 minutes now from right now and perform for 10 minutes in front of 6,000 people. The most I ever performed before that was 400. I like these clubs. Huge jump. But I was like, in a way, I was so ready because I've been practicing for so long. I've been waiting my whole life for this moment, right? So it's like, why would I, first of all, say no, which would never happen, and also like, why would I not be ready? I've been ready this whole time. And that's the fucking sweet juice of it all. You know what I'm saying? And so when I went up there, Russell, I was like, I went up to Russell actually before I went up on stage, and I was like, yo man, you have any advice, bro? Like it's my first time doing a stage this big. He's like, don't fucking bomb. And I was like, all right, cool. I was like, great, thanks. And in a way that actually was better because I was like, okay, like he's not taking it as seriously as like Like he takes it seriously, but he's like, it's still at the end of the day, bro. It's still stand up, and it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
So like they made it really took a lot of pressure off of me to like just enjoy my time on stage. It's 10 minutes, right? And in a room that big, it's like it's really 5 minutes of like material, right? Because like I'm used to doing shows in smaller rooms, where like if you do a smaller room, intimate room, like 10 minutes is like way more fast paced. Yeah. But 10 minutes in a bigger room like that, in an arena, it's so much slower. You have to pace, right? And that's actually more of my style.
Plus, you got to build a relationship with them too. Like,
yeah, you got to like get them
all
suck
that
you in.
10 minutes is like
it takes time, bro. By the time you're done your set, they don't even they just start to like.
It's like how do you even know like what to talk about? Like was each show different or
no? Yeah, so I was like, okay, what's like the best jokes I have that's like not all the same joke?
Yeah.
And then like still a little bit different like throughout the whole set, like 10 minutes, right? Yeah. So obviously like I just started off with like my opener that I've been doing that was crushing this the whole time, and then I go into like a quick like thing about like my weight, like like self-deprecating, just to get a quick laugh, and then I go into like something about my mom, and then like like a joke about the Nigerian Uber driver, and then fucking I close off with a sex bit with my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, and bro, I fucking crushed that first set in Ottawa, bro. I smashed it, like, and it felt so good. But the juice of it all came after when I came off stage, bro. As soon as I stepped off stage, bro, I bawled my eyes out.
No.
Yeah, because I was like, so much emotion was going through me. Like, one, I got this opportunity, and two, I actually did well. Good. So, and he was there they were all there to watch it happen the whole time. That's what made me cry, because I was like, holy fuck, bro. Like, I didn't realize how much I cared until that moment, because I was like bawling my eyes out. Because I care about so much, right? It's something that means a lot to me. And it made me a huge believer, even more than ever, that like anything's possible. And so that was a great, and I actually have it recorded on camera. Like I went backstage, like, and as soon as like the other guy opener went on stage, I was walking backstage, and my friend, my producer Cyrus was filming me, because like I was like, yo, just document this. Like I'm crying, but like, yo, film, because like I want to have it as like a.
You're like I'm crying, but like
film. Yeah. He's like, you okay? I was like, shut the fuck up, turn the camera on. But like I want to have it so I can document like how I was feeling in that moment.
Yeah.
Just like we never know. Like maybe it's in a documentary 20 years from now or 30 years from now. I have my own documentary and I have that in it.
Yeah.
And like,
or maybe you want to slide in a girl's DM. Yeah. You want to show them that you're emotional.
I'm emotional. I'm a caring guy, yo. Yeah. So yeah, man, it was just such a heartfelt moment for me, and it shows how much passion I have, right, and how much I care about the craft. And so after that happened, we went to Kingston. There's like, come to Kingston. Went to Kingston. I still didn't know. 10 minutes before the show, hey, you want to go up again? I was like, yeah, sure. Go up again, kill it, whatever. Came off. And then their Toronto show was the day after.
Yeah, I remember you had your own show, I think.
So I had my own show that I was preparing for my own tour. Like I was doing these like shows in Toronto, like in the summer, every week, 2 shows at a night, Thursday nights.
Call Me Daddy, right?
No, it's called the place was nothing fancy.
No. I mean the tour was called
Sugar Daddy. I'm your sugar daddy. I'm your sugar daddy.
Yeah.
And so like we talked about it the night before in Kingston. They were like, "So what are you guys doing tomorrow?" I was like, "Oh, like we have our own shows like 8 p.m. and 10 p.m." And his show was at 8 p.m. as well at ACC. And I was like, you guys need an opener? As a joke, I was like, you guys need an opener? And then like, they're like, it's probably not looking good because like, we have our openers and like, it's a biggest show of the tour. So we just want to kind of like keep it more tight. Yeah. But like,
this is in Toronto?
This is in Kingston, like the night before. Yeah. We're talking about the show Toronto. The next day. Mm-hmm. And then so we're like, we just like assume like it's just not going to work out, which is fine, whatever. Still like, but he's like, yeah, like if you guys want to like still like come by, like it's fine. But like, we're probably not going to be able to like let you open, but like you killed it, like good job, like whatever. So we went home and we're in Toronto now, and my brother and I were so exhausted the day after. We took a nap at like literally 5 p.m. At 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. rolls around, my brother gets a call and I hear him in the other room, and he gets on the call. He's like, hello. And then he's like, yeah. What? Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, sure. No, we'll be there. I had a hunch it was about the show.
Yeah.
But I was like, yo, what happened? Like, who's that?
The thing about Ovid is he's so scheduled. He likes to schedule his whole days.
Yeah, I know.
So if something comes out so left field,
out of
he's
the blue.
Like, shit, bro. Like, how am I going to do this? So I wasn't planning this.
Exactly. But he was also so amped.
Yeah.
He's like, he gets off the phone. He comes in the room. He's like, yo, get dressed. You're opening for him at ACC. I'm like, what the fuck? Let's go. I was so amped. I was like, no fucking way. I jumped out of bed. I was like so excited. I was like a little kid, you know what I'm saying? Got dressed and we fucking booked it over to this. Luckily, we were downtown.
Yeah.
And we were living at a condo down the street from the stadium. So lucky. Because if we were like in Keswick, like fucking somewhere like in the boonies, bro, we'd be done. Literally an hour before the show started, we had to get there. So I was like, this is crazy. So we, brought our friend Amir and Cyrus, like all the team, and we all went there together. And we had to walk in, and bro, it was crazy because a lot of his fans are also my fans too, which makes sense. And so, bro, as soon as we got to the front, like Gate 5 at ACC, Scotiabank Arena, where like everyone's like huddled around to line up to go into the gates. We get there, and we had these passes, so we could just walk in easily, bro. Like I felt like that was the first time I felt like famous because every single person was like staring at us and me, and like people were yelling my name because like most people who know me are there probably. So it was like just such a super cool experience. We walked through the gates. Everyone's like, "Yo, Neema." I was like, "Oh fuck, this is crazy!" Like And then we walk through the hall. We get downstairs. We get someone to escort us into the green room in the back. Down the elevator, it was super dope. We walk into the room and like there's Russell's family and like all his closest boys. It's his biggest show, right? It's his hometown.
Yeah.
And he hasn't done ACC in like 5 years at this point.
Yeah.
And we get there and now I'm like, bro, this is real. Like we're amongst the fucking. This is like the dream come true. And then pretty much they're like, yo, you ready, man? You ready to get up on there? And I was trying not to cry, bro, the whole time. Because I'm like, this is so cool and such a crazy experience.
And in your own hometown.
And in my hometown, bro. And no one knows I'm going on stage.
Yeah.
Actually, I texted all my boys in my group chat. I was like, yo, boys.
Nobody knows it.
No one knew. Because they
literally
just,
like 20 minutes before.
Yeah, no one knows the openers, right?
Like literally, when I tell you, like I spoke to his brother the night before. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm coming. And he's like, bro, I'm not going to be there.
I know.
He told me, he messaged me after. He's like, bro, like I literally just found out earlier. Like, we don't have enough time to message everyone.
I know. So we get in there and like I messaged my boys like, yo, boys, like I'm opening for Russell at ACC tonight, and they're all losing it too, right? Because they all love him too. And bro, my boy bought tickets immediately. He's like, yo, I'm coming. I don't give a fuck. You live downtown. He's like, I'm dropping everything. I have to see this. Like those guys were like losing it. They get seats up in the fucking whatever boony, like up in the sky,
bleeds,
in the bleeds. They just wanted to experience it, right? Because like this is a monumental moment in my career.
It's huge.
It's a huge milestone.
It's massive.
So whatever, we get there and then like the show's about to start. So we all walk out into the stadium now. Like there's a backstage. You see it. You open the curtain and you see fucking the stadium.
Yeah.
Like, you've been inside the arena.
Yeah.
It's like I'm entering a fucking Raptors game. You know what I'm saying, bro? I walk into the backstage. And like I peek through the curtain, and it's like filled with people. And I'm like, holy fuck, my heart was like pounding.
Yeah.
I was like, like when you're so nervous, you're like, you feel weak almost.
What was the turnout?
It was 16,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
16,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Bro, I'm back there and I'm hearing the sounds. People like sitting in their seats, and I'm getting amped up and like. It was making me emotional because like my brother and like the team, we had a little huddle and they're like, all right guys, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Like they're giving like a pep talk, and like in the moment I was like, he was like so motivational. I was about to cry. I was like, yo, I can't do this, bro. I have to be on my own. And I was like, because I was just so hyped.
Yeah.
I was trying to regulate my emotions before I go on stage. Otherwise I'm fucked. So I went to the corner for like 3 minutes. I was breathing like Wim Hof. Just if you feel a tingling in your body, it is okay. And I was like, trying to breathe and like, yo, go, let's go. I was like, mama mentality, let's go. Fucking what would Kobe do? Let's go, baby. You know what I'm saying? I was like hyping myself up, trying to like get jacked up. And then that's when like Clayton, like the lights go down, and you saw the video. I think I posted the video. The intro, he does the intro. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, special guest from Toronto on Instagram, blah blah blah. Neema, Naz'S, and like, bro, and that
crowd goes wild. Bro. Like just talking about it right now, bro. Like chills, the hair on my bro.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. And like I go up on stage and I'm like, I gotta fucking take control of this stage. I just went up and I was like, yo, what's good? Like, fucking crushed. Bro, I was like, I was had to take up space, And then, yeah, man, I was like, yo, my name's Neema Naz'S, and like people cheered and shit. I was like, whoa, this is fucked. And then, yeah, and then I just started doing my set and I fucking crushed it. It was one of the best sets I've had in a while at that point. And my closer was great, and that's it, man. Like, it was killer. And then I got off stage and I cried again because I was like, this is even better than the fucking other night,
Yeah.
And that's it, man. Like, yeah, and I couldn't believe it. And then the funny part is, as soon as I got off stage, we had to rush to my own show.
Yeah,
so
same time, yeah.
Same exact time.
But
the thing
crying
is,
in an Uber.
Yeah. Okay, what am I doing for this hour?
We're like Cyrus Film.
I'm in the Uber and like, because his show started at 8. Technically started at 8:15.
Yeah.
I did 10 minutes. By the time we left the building, it was 8:30. And the way my show works is obviously I'm headlining, so I had my own openers.
Yeah.
That they do like 30 minutes off the top, 30 to 40 minutes. So they started at 8:15 at my show in the West End.
Oh, okay.
So by the time I got there, I was supposed to get up on stage by 9 p.m. I got there at 8:59 p.m.
Oh wow!
As soon as I walked in the door, my boy Andrew Packer was on stage, and he was like finishing off his set. He's like, and he saw me walk to the back, and then that was his cue, pretty much like. He's ready to get off, and he's like, "All right, guys, thank you so much, Andrew Packer. You guys ready for your headliner?" Literally, and then Neema and I go on stage in front of 30 people.
So, did they know you were running late and they had to?
No, they didn't know. They had no idea.
Oh, wow.
So he actually, like, when he was bringing me up, he's like, "Guys, you're not gonna believe this, but because like he just found out when we found out because we had to message him like, yo, we're opening for Russell. Can you like go a little longer just in case?" So he knew, but. When he was bringing me up on stage, he's like, guys, like to the people who were there, the audience, he's like, yo, Neema just came off of stage literally right now to open for Russell Peters. Give it up for Neema. I was like, he's here for you now. Crazy. And then I just walked on stage and I talked about it for a couple minutes to everyone. They were like super hype, and I was like it's great. I went from 16,000 people to 30 people, but like it felt so natural. I was like, oh, this is sick, and like I had a good set too, and then that's it, man. So.
It's amazing, bro. It makes me happy.
Yeah, huge, seriously. Yeah. My nipples are so hard right now.
What a journey, and this actually plays into one of the things we like to do. Nick, take it away.
So you guys gonna take your pants off? There's I knew it, bro. I fucking knew it, bro. I knew we were getting it weird in this random shisha bar in Richmond Hill. Like someone's gonna pop out. Some Persian uncle's gonna show up in the back, bring a fucking sofa, put a blanket, and then we're just getting naked and oiled up with saffron shisha. He's gonna blow it in my face.
So we always like to ask the guests a question, and it's essentially, if your life was a 10-chapter book, what chapter would you say you're currently on?
Oh,
it's a deep one. This one, yeah.
After all that journey that you just explained,
I know you felt it a little bit in the belly button right now.
Belly button?
Yeah,
it's in my asshole right now.
Maybe I'll take a shit. Maybe it's the mortadella sandwich.
Yeah, mortadella, bro.
That's it.
It's the fucking panino my nonna made, bro. You stugats. In life, in general?
Yeah.
Is this knowing or not knowing when I'm gonna die?
No, like just like
at this current moment where you are, where Neema Naz'S is.
Right. Okay.
What chapter would you say you are in?
I think I'm just getting started, to be honest. So I'd say chapter 4.
Yeah.
Chapter 4, where it's like not exactly halfway, but
almost there.
Like, yeah, just starting chapter 4.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you want me to analyze it, but
there's no wrong answer. Like, as long as you don't tell me chapter 9, then I'm kind of like concerned. Like, how many
I'm ready to fucking die, bitches.
Retire.
I open for Russell. I'm gonna kill myself now. No, because I think chapter 1 is like my whole childhood, and like built the foundation of who Neema Naz'S is as the human being, and then chapter 2 is like late teens to like pretty much up until I started comedy, and then when I started comedy till now was chapter 3.
Yeah.
And then now it's like I feel like I'm entering a new era. I mean, coincidentally, because I just cut my hair too, so that's chapter 4. I don't know.
Nice.
It's like I'm a new. I actually did feel in the past couple of months I've elevated to the next level of comedy.
Yeah.
And as a human being, so I'd say chapter 4.
Nice.
Amazing. And then there's one last thing that I would like to talk about.
Yeah. I'm 4 inches. Oh wait, never mind. Here, go ahead.
Is if someone's obviously watching you, and this goes back to the whole role model thing, and they want to get into comedy and they want to start from somewhere, what's the best piece of advice you can give them?
Make content, okay?
Yeah, you have to do it in a Gary Vee accent, dude.
Like literally this whole next part you have to do in Gary Vee.
Micro speed, macro patience, okay? Fuck your parents. They don't know fucking shit. Yeah, like I honestly like it's worth taking the risk of doing something you enjoy doing for you, not because someone else wants you to do it. Because my thing is like, if you're doing something that your parents want you to do or society wants you to do, if you think about it, what happens when they die, when everyone's gone? Are you still doing something for them or for yourself?
For sure.
And are you going to be happy? So that's something I live by.
I've actually never thought of it that way.
That's amazing.
Really good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today, bro.
Yeah.
Congratulations on all the success.
Also, I'm
Thank
sure
you
you
so
don't need to say this. It goes without saying, but if anybody wants to find you, your socials, what's the dates of your next tour? Where is it going to be?
Yeah. Yeah, so everything's Neema Naz'S on all my socials and OnlyFans. and I swing my balls in the air. And then Neema.com is where all my tickets are for shows in Toronto and Canada, and also a U.S. tour if anyone's in the U.S. Or tell your friends if you're from the United States, or if you have friends in the U.S. And yeah, that's it, man. Like, just fucking do what you love, and yeah, be real, be authentic.
I love it, bro. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for coming, man.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Let's jerk each other off now.
All right. That's a wrap.
Okay, done.